there's another thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I was like reflecting, and I forgot what it was, but the bottom line was about character.
Yeah.
And, yeah, because a lot of people don't focus on the character, like about who. Actually, I think I know what it was. I think actually I knew what it was.
What?
Don't want to talk to you about, but let's see if we get there.
Okay.
Maybe we'll get there. About like the type of person you're either becoming, and like your character matters a lot more. So like if like you're trying to figure out who you want to spend the rest of your life with, all that stuff. It's like the thing that I'm learning so much is like the person's character matters so much more, and because people change, people go through different things, and character kind of changes too. But if they're, because I think a lot of, there's a lot of like good advice, but not great advice in the sense of like. So what I want to talk to you about is dating. Yeah, and so, because what I was thinking about was like, it's really bad advice, and this is a good clip we'll love it. It's really bad advice to just say, "Hey, date a Christian." I actually will never tell someone, "Hey, you should date a Christian."
Well, I see you back on that.
Let me explain. Because it's not really a helpful term.
Yeah.
Even just the fact, and now we live in like where not everybody's like we're living in a post-Christian world, whatever. But just saying, "Hey, date a Christian and you're good," it's like that. Well, but what is a Christian? What do they value? Where does that heart? Do they even care? Because they might say they believe in God, but are they actually following and actually trying to become someone that's like Him and reorienting their life around following Jesus? Or are they? So that, like, to me is the clippable moment that I want of like, yeah. And so, but back to that, what you said about the playground and character, and like the journey of following Jesus is so much more about character than just getting to heaven when you die, or just saying like the right prayer and then you're good.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where the good life is, and so
yeah, no, absolutely. A couple things to that. A lot of things that I've done in my life, I've worked for companies and I've gotten hired into positions and I had no experience in it. A lot of times, not even just once. Like I've had people that have hired me on the spot, and I'm like, I was always wondering why that happened. And then all the connections that I've had over the years and made over the years, I was like, how did I end up getting all those positions and meeting all these people? It comes from character.
Yeah.
I think again, going back to that prayer, it's like I wanna change lives. I want to travel the world and change lives and reach the lost, reach people in their dark places and bring them up. But God needs to prepare me. He can't just be like, all right, go to like all these countries and start praying and all these different places that like you see a lot of destruction. He needs to build my character, straighten me, make sure that I'm ready for the wilderness.
Yeah.
Right. So those are the playgrounds that I'm at right now. Same thing with like. When I got hired and all this, to talk about character, I remember someone that I'm still very close with. He had posted something one time on social media. He's like, I need help with a project, whatever. This was during the pandemic. So I was like, hey, I'm not playing video games all day long. It's like, I have more time right now. So what do you need help with? He's like, do me a favor. Why don't you just come over? So I was like, okay. So I came over and I thought he was just talking to me about a project. He's like, I want to show you something. He pulls out a wad of paper, and it was over 40 or 50 resumes, around that number he had mentioned. He's like, I'm actually looking to hire a marketing director, and I think you would fit the bill for that. And I was like, dude, I never handed in my resume, number one, and I have no experience in marketing. But he said, dude, like the person that you are, your networking skills, and just how you talk to people, like that speaks louder than a piece of paper that's supposed at that market. Sure. So I think that sometimes, like in life, well, not sometimes, all the time. I think that if you continue to build your character and just become the best version that you could be to everybody around you, finances will take care of, opportunities will get taken care of, your health, your mental well-being, everything. So I think
how do you do that
for it? You know what? Life is all about balance. I will say that like nobody's perfect. I've had my fair shares of like being in dark places in my life and just not being at the best mentally. How do I do that right now? It's just to make sure I check in with God every day. You know, just making sure that I have a balance of hanging out with, you know, my friends and my family, you know, going for a walk, going to the gym. You have to find your outlet, because a lot of times people want to work 24/7, and, you know, I work a lot, but people are like, how do you work so much and still stay? I was like, because people don't know I'm still grinding at the gym. I'm still doing a podcast with a dog laying on me. You know, I mean, for a few hours, it's just hanging out and stuff. Like, I'm doing these things, you know, where I think if you have a good balance, you know what makes you happy. People would say, like, I like to sing and dance. I can't sing and dance at all. So, but people like to sing and dance. That's something that if they do on their free time or artwork or journal, whatever. Are you getting calls?
No, we'll go.
Okay. So I think that's how I do it. And then I do want to mention too one thing about the dating, right? So I want to make sure if that's important, and yeah, make sure that's important. So
Yeah, we're good.
perfect. So going back to the whole dating a Christian and stuff. So that's like even just allowing people in your life. Like, I've always heard that, like, your friends and the people who you surround yourself with and stuff, right? Especially our parents growing up, we, be around more Christian people and stuff. Say, like, you know, it's interesting that you say that because, like, number one, Christian is a religion. It's kind of like, oh, I'm a Christian. But I ask people, do you have a relationship?
Yeah.
Like, what's your relationship like with Jesus?
Yeah.
Right? That's the first thing. So I look at, like, if it's, and it doesn't have to be dating, it could be like I'm allowing a friend in my life, in my close circle, and what's your relationship with Jesus? Do you have a relationship with Jesus? But more importantly, and I think that, and we can get into this whole topic about, like, I've gotten, this is a whole side note, but it's related to, like, how do you preach the gospel? And the people have asked me this, like, a lot of times recently. How do you preach the gospel in today's world we live in? And I tell people through my actions, you know, you love like Jesus, you walk like Jesus, you talk like Jesus, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, I have friends that come from different religions, that are atheists, that all that stuff, but I love them like how Jesus loved. I forgive them like how Jesus would forgive.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's, like, the most important part is loving on people. And so, yes, it would make it easier if, you know, dating a Christian and kind of like having that romantic and stuff like that. Equally yoked, this, of course, is in the Bible.
Yeah.
But I have a friend who was dating someone. She's a Christian, and he was far from that. And he said that she saved his life, and now they're married and have 2 kids. So those stories happened.
Yeah. You don't hear about the other ones though.
Oh yeah, exactly.